are out. So it's a big deal to secure that top 4. EG at the very least has to do that. And hopefully for them, getting into 3rd seed versus 4th seed, that is actually also really important because everyone right now is looking at Cloud9 like the clear #1 team.
Yeah.
So, getting out of 4th and into 3rd would mean you potentially running into someone like FlyQuest instead of Cloud9, who is looking like a much more manageable opponent. So these games are actually incredibly important for EG.
Saying all of that, Immortals are coming out to a slight lead early on here. They get the Herald charge onto the bottom turret. Couple plates for themselves. Second dragon has spawned. And it seems like they might be setting up for it, but there are multiple members of EG around, so I don't think Immortals will fully pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think they might be down to fight it. I mean, they have Galio ult, they're getting mid push, and I feel like they're in a spot where they're comfortable to do it because Tactical has this flashback as well. Inspired is just going to go back to base. This is just going to be sacrificed.
Wow, that is 2 dragons in a row that Evil Geniuses just are not interested in contesting, just given to Immortals.
Yeah, it's honestly a little bit surprising. If you're playing Kindred into the Lee Sin, and you're kind of just in an AFK farm game at 12 minutes, you are sitting really, really pretty.
Yeah.
You're going to be feeling good about your position.
Like best case scenario.
Yep. But it is still, really about the playmaking around this 1-item spike for a lot of these members. Lee Sin now has the Gore Drinker. When Gale Force is finished up, when the support mythic is finished up as well, that mandate, that is when I really want to see each start to push the base. And if they can't create a lead on 1 item, they're going to be in trouble.
But Lulu could be in trouble. Speaking of, JoJo has Tibbers. He just needs to stack up the stun. Vulcan and Inspired. Actually, they're probably looking for Kenby, assuming that the Kindred might walk up here.
Yeah, his red is up, so they're expecting that he probably is pathing up towards that. But, I mean, if they can get this crashed and no one shows, they can definitely look at this dive.
FBI's nearby, too. Has the coin available. Tibbers used stun and a chain CC. Vulcan gets the kill credit. Successful dive for EG.
Yeah, really nicely done. Even FBI showing up there at the right time with the culling to make sure of it. They're going to get at least 1 plate off this. They are losing minions bot, and they lost at least 1 plate. 2 tactical, a third of the game, but 1 on that play. So, not too bad still. Immortals about even on gold still even after that death because of the lost experience gold and the plate on that bot side. So Immortals definitely looking good. Have continued that trend of being very competitive in their games ever since Baloo has joined.
And if the observers could quickly highlight top lane, because every 14 minutes you are contractually obligated to check in on your top laners. All right, cool. 30 CS lead. Thank you. Now we never have to look at them again for another 14 minutes. We can bring our attention to the rest of the Rift. But speaking of, actually, we do have a potential play because Herald is starting. Silent ulting back up to the top lane. Someday might be able to contest this if we have a fight because both teams are posturing nearby.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Revenge has been able to open up a pretty significant CS lead, so is making the most of this counter pick that he had. We'll see if he can actually extend that into a team fight advantage, because that is where I think it is very difficult for the Cassante to make it happen. But so far, it's just EG giving up another objective here, and they're getting nothing on bot side. If you look at where the Lucian is on the map right now, Lucian's just heading down towards bot. You're not trading for damage on the tower. You're not even trading for lost minions. You're actually even coming positive in summoners, so Immortals are kind of just cruising, and EG haven't been able to put them under any pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, what are EG doing, honestly? They're playing an earlier game comp. If you have the Lucian Nami, I expect that to be the lane that's trying to be aggressive and trying to play for the earlier dragons. Okay, Fleshy, we won't mention that. But they have not gotten any significant advantage for themselves anywhere on the map. It's Immortals with 3 objectives unanswered. 4, actually. They got both Heralds.
Yeah, absolutely. They are looking really, really good, but they have hit that big spike that I was talking about. 1 item across all those members is going to be very, very important. So we'll see if EG can find fights now. This is where I really think it is important that they start to pick up the pace of the game, because it is going to become problematic as time goes on. I also want to check in on Kenby. Has he gotten a second mark? He has. So he's on 2 marks now. No kills, but getting 2 from PvE is always going to be a pretty good spot to be in.
Yeah, and again, he sacrificed the 3rd that he would have for the dragon earlier. 2 dragons earlier stacking. They can start to use that as a pressure point to force EG in. The next one might be where we start to see EG actually contest that. You mentioned the 1 items. It's coming up in a minute and a half, so I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that. How do EG approach and try and set up a vision line before the dragon spawns?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting mid lane pressure, which is step number one. Now it's about time to move into the river, try to eliminate some of these wards, because Annie and Lee Sin, really want to be playing from Fog. You want to be creating those zones of pressure here. This is Kemby getting the first jump in on Inspired, chunking him down a little bit. Kemby, as well, has that Mythic completed, and is going pretty aggressive with the Kraken. Looks like he's maybe going towards, Kraken Black Cleaver or something along those lines.
Fleshy over the wall. They have the rogue entrance as well. Chain CC onto Inspired. That's jungler down for EG. Jojo still has the Tibbers. Trying to stack up. Could look for something big here on a Kenby, but we still have the Kindred ultimate, so Immortals with a crucial jungler pick right before Dragon's coming up.
Yeah, that was a really nice commitment from Immortals as well. I don't think a lot of people would have even looked for that play onto someone like Lee Sin, but they had so much CC that they just fully locked him down. Fleshy flashing in, hook into ult, into Galio ult, into Varus ult, and he just couldn't move until he's almost about to go down.
Fleshy and Balulu, they were teammates back in Turkey on Nasser. They finished summer 3rd, 4th. They finished the regular season in 1st place, and we saw them be the 1-2 punch, stepping up for Immortals, catching Inspired over the wall. Now, there was a little before Dragon spawned, so now Dragon's coming up. EG can look to still contest this. Let's see if they got it.
But it's still a big kill, and it's also Jojo PM with no flash. And Annie without that flash is so much less of a threat to the backline. Annie needs to try to get back there. Also, no Tibbers, because it was actually used, I think, on bot side, so Kemby's just going in.
Balulu just flashes in, sees an Annie, gets the double taunt, plus the Justice Punch, back on the Vulcan, but Someday and Inspired are fighting on the flank right now. The fight is a little split, so Immortals, they commit to the tanks. They commit to Someday, pulled over, all out from Revenge, and that's top laner down for EG.
Yeah, another kill there for Immortals. They are running the show here, and that is another mark. I heard the sound go off there, so Kemby now at 3 marks. It's 3 straight Dragons here, only 18 minutes in. Immortals really starting to run away with this one, and EG, I think it's going to be hard-pressed to kind of get their way back into it.
And this is the moment, one item for everyone on EG that you had been setting up as their ideal scenario. This is where their composition could look to start fighting, and the fact that you're losing those fights at that moment is really rough for EG's chances. They're going to have to start looking for some more desperate plays to come back.
I mean, their setups have just been kind of rough, right? Like, they have not been the ones starting off. Really, it feels like a single fight this whole game. You can see the TP coming in. Bolulu with the home guards just going straight in. Flash on top of Jojo. Remember, he had no flash from that previous fight where they actually picked off Inspired. So he's able to get straight in on top of Jojo, chunking him down. And on the other side of the fight, it's a Scion just getting scooped back and ulted away, separated out from the team. They take that one easy kill. They know that guarantees them the Dragon, and things are looking tough for EG.
My favorite part about that is that was a true Zoe player. He was walking up to the summit, but he was watching FBI the entire time. He was like, all right, I'm going to hang out over here in case the team needs me, but I'm watching for that Lucian in case he jumps in and tries to go for anything. Immortals are in a fantastic spot right now. They have Dragon Soul on the horizon in 4 minutes' time. And EG have yet to find a purchase in this game.
Yeah, and now Jojo is actually in some trouble here with the...
No flash still.
Yeah.
As the Tibbers throwing it out early, does get the stun, and now Revenge will say, all right, maybe I don't want to take this one. There's enough time for Evil Geniuses to send backup. Speaking of, Revenge could be in some trouble now, but he's got that outer turret still. EGs haven't even taken that. So he's fine.
Yep, able to just back it up, forces the Tibbers out, in a situation where it's just basically used defensively, and at the same time, they're taking the tower top. You can see it's another scuttle here with a mark there, so Kemby already at 4 marks here before that big fight that we're going to be talking about, the soul fight here. So Kemby is going to have much more access towards some of those carries. It's so much easier with that additional range to really be hitting champions like Lucian, like Annie, and still staying safe from the front line.
And you see, this is what EG has to do from this position. Look for these little fish plays. Throw out the Sonic Wave into a Fog of War. Throw out the Nami Bubble into Fog of War. See if you can do anything. So while EG look for a reminder, we got the Fairy Court coming to LCS.
That's going to be tomorrow. We have some activities going on after the show as well, so you guys may want to check that out if you're in the LA area. But Immortals now, multiple
Are you going to wear a costume?
Pardon me?
Are you wearing a costume for the Fairy Court?
I do not have a costume.
No, we should get you some wings,
Yeah, we'll have to set it up.
Some lights.
Yeah,
I can
there
see
you
it.
go. Yeah, a little LED setup. But double marksman here on 2 items now for Immortals. They're looking really, really good. Black Cleaver completed for Kemby. Rage Blade through as well. For Tactical here on the Varus. things are looking really dire for EG, and this is just kind of not the EG that I feel like we're used to seeing, where they have been extremely passive. They have not really been proactive on any plays, it feels like, whatsoever, and it just doesn't seem like the best version of them.
When we set up the beginning of the game, this was EG's opportunity to take that second place spot, to get themselves at least back in the conversation. I think it's safe to say they are not doing that yet. Now, they are feeling under the weather. We did hear at least one of them feeling symptoms. That's why they're playing remote. Sometimes that can factor into decision-making in games, play a little sluggish, but I don't want to give them too much leeway because they are still a elite team in this region that we have high expectations for.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is our last chance to really kind of judge them before playoffs, right? To kind of evaluate how strong this team is going to be, to help you with your predictions going into playoffs. You kind of have to judge based on what you're seeing. It is definitely a shame if the players are not feeling well. They're not able to play here on stage today. But as you say, you can only really evaluate what you're seeing. And EG definitely looking sluggish, not really getting proactive whatsoever so far in this game.
And Immortals are poised to take this Dragon Soul. It's up in a minute's time. They got stopwatch on Kenvi, stopwatch on Balulu. They have very impactful team fight items that they can start playing around. And I don't see a big world where, a likely world, that EG's able to find something here. Unless they can get a pick before the Dragon, maybe they can catch a straggler.
Yeah, you have to find a good angle, try to chunk someone with the culling, or find some sort of ability to pick.
Vulcan says, I'll do it myself. Bubble lands. But Kenji gets away from the Tibbers stun. That is heroic entrance out from Balulu. So one ult down from Immortals. It's traded for JoJo and Vulcans.
Honestly, I think that's still really positive for IMT. I'm down to trade Galio ult for the Tibbers. That is their main kind of really explosive engage here. Now the TVs are coming in. They're going to fight for this, but Balulu's looking to potentially have a long wrap around here.
Do you remember Balulu's Galio flank last week? He spent about a minute in that tri-bush waiting for somebody to come his way. This time EG have to walk into them. EG will get this turret. That's gold in their pocket, but it's not gold they can spend before the Dragon. It's up in 3 seconds. So Immortals, they have this brush set up. Inspired's got a flank. How do they want to approach? Ooh, Fleshy's marking Inspired. If they can keep eyes on Inspired, they can just take this Dragon. Revenge can just ult Inspired out of the pit.
Remember, Balulu's still over the wall. He was spotted, though. They actually stepped out of the brush. They know he's there now.
JoJo has stun, but he still does not have the Tibbers. Balulu over the wall. Immortals are not committing to the Dragon. They haven't decided if they want to just go for it and then keep Inspired out, guarantee it. They're still a little worried. FBI might be the hero here for Evil Geniuses. Lucian with 2 items still can do a lot of damage in situations like this. As Evil Geniuses are walking up, Revenge trying to buffer the CC. Fleshy goes in, Balulu with the 4! Jam, taunt, blows up Evil Geniuses, and Immortals get a double kill for Tactical, winning this fight easily. And they're gonna get the Dragon right afterward. Even Inspired's not getting out of that one. Playing around with the Dragon wall, like it can be. Claims his fight's down. If Inspired can take down a kill, maybe that's something for him, but he's taken out. Immortals win the fight.
Immortals win the fight, and they can even potentially go straight towards Baron. We'll see if they want to go for it. The respawns are not that long, but Vulcan's still out on the map. Fleshy is hunting. Balulu is hunting.
Vulcan's gonna get caught too. Fleshy, Dredgeline just missing. But he's walking around, all you need is an auto, but they get a flash out of the Nami.
Yeah, gonna get the flash, and I still think you start the Baron, 17 seconds here on Inspired respawning, you have double marksman, you can kill this off incredibly quickly, and that is gonna be Soul, that is gonna be Baron, and almost certainly that is going to be the game here for Immortals, crushing EG to start off Super Week.
This is 25 minutes. This is not a late game. Oh, Kindred came online, they outscaled, they got a little sloppy for EG. No! This was Immortals from the first Dragon, exhibiting control through the bot lane, roaming around getting every neutral objective. EG haven't gotten anything, gotten 1 turret.
Yeah, it's been a rough one for them, and it's all about this flank coming through. You know, Inspired does get into the back line. He gets a kick on Kenvi, but honestly, who cares? They get nothing with it. And that flash forward, the taunt on all 4 members there in that EG back line. Revenge just piling in, straight in, on top of FBI. He's able to go all out, take him out on the back line. Inspired did a good job delaying, but it doesn't really matter. It's not going to get them much of anything here. Immortals get the Soul, they get another mark, that's now 5 for Kenvi, and they're just running away.
You know, we call that the Turkish 2-tap. You know, the Nautilus ult into 4, into the Galio taunt into 4. You know, we gotta start naming things here for Balulu and Flesh.
JoJo didn't do a lot of damage in that one.
That's a 96 damage. Annie guess that's what happens when you're on Tibbers, and you just get engaged down at the beginning of the fight. Speaking of, Inspired looking for an engage right now. They kick Revenge in, but he is fine. He is tanky. He's got a big old Galio backing him up, so no play for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, pops the stone plate. He is chilling. That is a 3-item Cassante, who has looked really strong in this game. And after I was talking about not really liking this matchup, they're going to try to find Kemby now.
Double onslaught and teleport coming in from Immortals. They want this fight. They say, you started it, but we will finish it. Cashing FBI away from the rest of the team. They'll even get someday. And this is surely just the end of the game. They have Baron buff. They have all members up, 5v3. They can walk this wave in.
Yeah, they're just going to march it in. It looks like they want to go for some kills instead. Revenge chasing Vulcan across the base here.
Inspired will play goalie as he tries to save his support. JoJo's here. Revenge. This might have been ambitious, but the team is backing him up. Inspired, separated from everyone else in the dredge line, even onto JoJo. Lands a stun onto Fleshy. All right, Inspired's down. Can Immortals still end the game? 10 seconds for FBI. They're onto the Nexus turrets. They don't have a wave. They're just going for the kills. Vulcan's down. JoJo Pyun running to the safety of his inhibitor turret, but you ain't even safe there, buddy. Immortals playing upset here and making the playoff race very interesting. Where were you when Immortals upset Evil Geniuses? They're looking for the ace. Someday gets back to the fountain. Immortals might not even care about it. They can focus the Nexus, but they want that kill. Give it to them someday. It doesn't matter. Give them the win.
14-3, not even 28 minutes into the game. Immortals taking down EG. A huge upset to kick off the week here, and it's a second win now with both.